The second book you had here is from Arthur Brooks, right? Strength to Strength.
Yeah, Strength to Strength. Great book. Talks about that all of us have these kind of at least two curves in our lives. And the first curve is usually whatever you're doing in your first, your professional young adult life. And the point that everybody's first curve, no matter who you are and no matter what you think, everybody's curve starts to fall, right? Yeah. Now, a history professor's first curve might last longer than a pro athlete's, of course, but the value of life is not a lot of times that first curve, but it's that second curve and what you build that second curve. Yeah. It's a fabulous book.
That's beautiful.
It's a really good listen too.
And then, I mean, as a former military expert, you can't leave out Sun Tzu, right? The Art of War.
Yeah. When you sent me those questions, I turned around and I looked at my bookcase. And I can't tell you how many examples throughout the SEAL teams and even in small business that I've gotten out of this Sun Tzu book, The Art of War.
It is valuable because, a lot of people think, the Art of War, it's all about, let's go out there and beat somebody down, or it's a gruesome and gruel, but it's quite the opposite. I mean, there's lots of wisdom in there where you need to pick your battles and all
the path less traveled,
Yeah.
How valuable going the direction that nobody is expecting or nobody maybe thinks you should go, how valuable that can be for an organization. And I've applied that to a lot of my life.
Yeah. I've got a bunch of questions. I'm sure I've forgotten some, but there's one more on the list, and I liked your answer. So the question number 9 is, who are your idols and why?
Well, good Catholic boy. I can't of course get out of this conversation without talking about Jesus, the ultimate leader and motivator in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm distantly related also to Jimmy Doolittle. No, well, we're all related to Jesus, of course. But I'm distant relation to Jimmy Doolittle.
Okay.
From the Doolittle raid, World War II.
Okay.
The guy that led the 16 B-25 bombers off the what was the name of the carrier? The Hornet, USS Hornet.
Was that where they scaled down the B-52s to fly over Japan?
No, there weren't B-52s or B-25s.
B-25.
So small bombers.
But it was like a really scary mission where they scaled them down and they took off from the aircraft carriers?
Yep. First time it ever happened. These types of bombers taken off from carriers. And it was our first response after Pearl Harbor. And they were seen ahead. They were seen early. So they had to make a decision whether to launch. And there's this great scene in Jimmy Doolittle's book. I Could Never Be So Lucky Again is the name of the book.
Yeah.
And he pulls everyone together, and they were going to have to launch in order to get the birds off before the carrier battle group had to go into defensive operations, because they were pretty sure they were going to be attacked.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to turn around or go a different direction. So they had to launch, and he pulled all the crews, all 16 of the crews on the flight decks. And there's great pictures of it. And he's kind of a shorter guy, and he's standing in the middle of all this massive humanity. And he's basically telling them that the mission has changed. And most, if not all of us, may not come back from this. All our extraction plans have now gone out the window.
Well, I think they ultimately they had to land on the mainland in China and Indonesia or wherever it was, and then they were pretty much left up to themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of them didn't make it that far, and but to a person, every one of them raised their hands and wanted to still go.
Wow,
and just an incredible leader. I met him at the Air Force Academy in 1988. That was my only time ever meeting him.
Wow.
And he was out there to due to groundbreaking for Doolittle Hall, but funny story behind that.